just to chat to the good folks at home. But no, we are hopping straight in to winners and finals here. This is Swistak versus DegenGary. This is for a place in Grand Finals. Of course, this will be best of 5 as well. And once again, because there is no variety at these locals, we have returned to a small battlefield. Because we always seem to go back here for some reason. I mean, yes, it is a good stage, but you know what? Like, I just want to see a little bit of diversity in my life. I don't want to always be going back to small battlefield. I just want a little bit of variety. But alas, that's a commentator's woes right there. This is going to be a very, very interesting matchup between these two. You know, very much going to. Again, we talked a little bit before about how a lot of Pokemon Trader's powers is based on that neutral and advantage, and again, it's a similar thing for Sheik as we talked about before. But this is again where it's what really comes down to how far can Gary take things, because Pokemon Trainer's advantage generally a little bit better than Sheik's. But if matchup unfamiliarity can get DegenGary, we could be seeing a potential big upset on our hands. Okay, and Swistak going for the downer there, but that is a risky option, especially against Shield. Gonna get punished forward for it. DegenGary doing the correct thing though, of just waiting out for that recovery option, especially in the first stock of game 1. You want to be just seeing how your opponent recovers. Do not be risking any or committing to anything. Good temper cancel as well into the falling downer there, catching Swistak on the ground. This is very much where things start to get a little bit scary. The switch as well. The invulnerability coming out and actually facing straight through that mountain fish. But for Swistak, doesn't even matter as DegenGary finds the stock as well. We're keeping things even Stevens between these two. Now this is where begins the grab, comes out. Big sequence here from Swistak, 51 as well, with the beautiful drag down into the up air as well. And the immediate switch back into Squirtle, because while obviously Charizard, a big boy, and obviously will be, sort of able to hit hard, Sheik will not be able to kill them. Unfortunately, they're a big boy, so Sheik can very much keep them in a disadvantage. You can just keep slapping them around. But Ivysaur, as we've seen here, being the real star of this game, because he is very much the middle ground, where he's got kill moves out of the wazoo, but is also a pretty heavy boy. He's got a bit of thickness to him. As we see there, we're actually not only Gary living Guppy, but then also being able to use that humongous hitbox of the down smash. But beautiful sequence from Swistak. Not even going to let me finish the sequence, placing Gary as he does a clip-worthy moment of his own. Getting that stock, and again, just keeping things so even between them both. Okay, Gary just trying to find these little hits there. Okay, the high up B gonna be caught out by the up B. Gary just being very patient at ledge again. Swistak a bit more on the back foot there. You can see them retreating, just using projectiles, using those needles to keep them away. He does not want to be losing this neutral exchange, and very much just what happened there. Once again, returning to the ledge. Downer comes out, but not gonna find his target just yet. Swistak just trying to find some hits here and there, but Gary's just not gonna happen. Oh, a big read there with the forward smash. Gonna put them once again off stage. The RB coming out though, clanking with Gary there. But this is still a tremendously scary position for Swistak to be in. He has not been able to find any big hits. And the up air comes out, finds his mark, and that is gonna take away game 1 in this best of 5. For the love of God. Okay, here we go now. Game 2, and we are we're going back to small battlefield. Yeah, he at least chose Karma. That's a good song. So I can't hear it, but it's there and it makes me happy. At least acknowledge its existence. There we go again. This neutral game is where it's at. Swistak finding a grab. This is going to lead into big damage. Gary escaping though. Good use of the air dodges there. Swistak having a particularly good one. And again, just using that switch as well, just to avoid bouncing fish. That's such a big thing for Gary to be able to avoid, because that bouncing fish is one of Sheik's key kill moves. And if you're just avoiding it entirely, then that is going to be absolutely huge. But Swistak's advantage state, again, shining through right here. Okay, Gary again is now just trying to get something going there. You know, playing a little bit more outside Sheik's range, but Swistak, you know he is on the hunt for this kill. He very much wants it, but Gary finding a huge vine whip there, taking the stock at a very ludicrously early percentage. Something about like 60% that killed off the side. And suddenly the momentum has completely switched into Gary's favor, where now we're starting to see the weakness of Sheik, where they just cannot kill unless they find their big moves, which Gary's not letting happen. Swistak, though, obviously a master of the character, very aware of their own weaknesses, and thus delaying that bouncing fish there to catch the air dodge in. Gary falling to his death there. Again, Swistak just keep things nice and even throughout. This is very much a very, very close game between these two, and we're still only in the first stock. Okay, so Gary going into that Charizard there, trying to get something big going, because he just knows that the Squirtle. No, gonna switch actually into the Squirtle, just sort of playing sort of a little bit, you know, throwing a few mind games at Gary there, but okay, Swistak just trying to find some hits, but again, Gary, since that first stop where he was just carried back and forth, has been really just carrying the momentum in his favor. Struggling to find his hits there, trying to get that drag down, but not going to happen yet. Gary just very much stalling his way out. Okay, huge hit there from Gary, once again sealing up another stock, and now this is where it matters for Swistak. The bouncy fish comes out again. It does phase through the switch of the Pokemon train and the Pokeball, but unfortunately, you know, even with the neutral, they're still not able to find a hit. And thus, this is looking scarier and scarier for Swistak. The uppy clangs, but it's still not enough to kill this big blue dragon. Even with the uppy as well, everything is not enough to kill this Charizard right now. Gary just living to some very high percentages, which is not what Sheik wants at all. Swistak very much looking on the card. The bouncy fish comes out once more, but is not able to land because it's almost too high percentage right now. This is such a scary position for Swistak. I mean, you can see him play very, very carefully right now. Meanwhile, Gary just going to keep this Charizard because he has no reason to switch whatsoever. Fire Breath coming out, interrupting Swistak's, you know, movement there. But even still, he cannot find. No, finally the back end does clank into the stage. Gary falls to his death. Now this is a huge moment. You see Gary constantly going for these upbeats, you know, expecting maybe a bit of a higher recovery from Swistak, but instead, you know, each time just getting beaten out by the gap attack and a very much low recovery from Swistak, who is starting to get something going here. Good switch though, again, just phasing through that up air. Very, very important because Sheik's, you know, entire game is just connecting hits. If you're able to phase through them, that is big, you know, momentum breakers. Okay, Gary is very much on the hunt here. You can see him throwing out those vine webs. The down air comes out, trying to go for that falling up air, which he loves to do, and is so effective at killing. But Swistak is hanging on at 118. Again, we said before, Sheik is not a heavy character, so any big hit is going to be enough. The uppy actually pushing Gary away a little bit to allow for a safe recovery. But this is starting to get a little bit, you know, scary now for Gary. He's got to watch out. The grab does come out, and the down throw will seal up, and that is Gary going up 2-0. But Swistak definitely starting to mount that comeback, especially after game 1, how that ended. Right back into it. This is game 3 between Gary and Swistak. You can start to see some of Swistak's fans, a bit of EOE coming out into the chat, supporting their boy. They want to see it happen. Meanwhile, the MK lot just sitting in the crowd, watching it all happen, of course, rooting for Gary as they always do. Very much a clash of regions here. again, this entire neutral sequence is what can decide so many things. Gary finding that grab, but not actually able to get anything from it. You know, normally going for a down air throw, but instead going for an up air. And a big down air from Sheik, from Swistak. You know, sending Gary down, but not enough to kill as he is able to make it back with that ridiculous vine whip recovery. Tethering him back up to the stage. Okay, Swistak just trying to play a little bit more grounded. Meanwhile, Gary is just up in sky, throwing out all the aerial moves in the world. The vine whip going through the stage because for some reason they can do that. We'll never understand why. Oh, Gary, you know, trying to read the roll in, but, you know, not necessarily even needing it to, because that move has a ridiculous amount of range to it. Even so, not able to find it just yet. Again, Swistak just keep himself very, very sort of mobile. Don't want to be sort of killed too stiff because that can spell disaster. Okay, big down there and then into the delayed up air as well. It is the DegenGary classic, just with a bit of a delay in there this time. That is able to seal up stock 1. Swistak again, trying now just to find the stock. He just don't want to be taking too much damage. Running forward with that forward smash. Okay, the Charizard is out now. Immediate switch back into the squad as well, just using the switch to break that momentum a little bit of Swistak's combos. And actually, this is paying off big time for Swistak here, as even with the switch, the momentum has not shifted, and Gary has not been able to find anything but down. The grab finally comes out, and this is where it all happens. For a Pokemon trainer, just finding that one little grab can lead to huge damage, and you can see that immediately Gary has just evened things up. And you very much say that obviously, you know, in an even sort of percentage situation, Pokemon trainer generally comes out on top and having generally just more kill moves to play with than Sheik does. He can kill very much earlier. Okay, you see Swistak just kind of poking away there, just trying to find just one little hit just to convert into something. But even so, Gary was not budging. Again, trying to go for another forward smash there on the rollout, but it's not happening. Gary too aware for it to do so. The falling uphill once again coming out. But again, these two are not going down without a fight. Gary not opting for the down air, instead trying to use that neutral air, but it is avoided by Swistak, who's still got to come back to stage. And again, not only comes back, but Swistak finding the needle confirm into the up smash as well. Is looking very, very nice for Swistak, especially if he can build up damage here, which he is starting to do, but he needs a bit more than that if he wants to give himself the best possible chance of taking ourselves to a game 4. But you know that Gary's on the hunt, and the just dashing down smash as well to catch the rollout is going to be enough to take away that stock. Swistak now in the scariest of positions, you know, obviously at 0, but you want to start, you know, getting more damage because Pokemon Trainer can really just rob stocks away, so you want to be sealing this up now. You do not want Gary to get into that advantage state. Okay, big forward smash there, leading a little bit more damage in. The needles as well, not going for the bouncing fist because he knew the switch was coming to avoid it entirely. So Swistak just instead opting to get a bit more damage. This is looking good but Gary able to make it back. Swistak still not able to find the kill just yet, trying to go for that falling up there, but it's not going to be finding his target. And this is a really, really tricky position for Gary here, as that you can see Swistak constantly going for those up airs. And even just a needle confirm into the bounty fish will be enough. Any big hit will be enough, but the switch avoiding it entirely as well. And the grab coming out from Gary as well. This is his chance to start making the comeback. Okay, you can see him, delaying that down air, hoping to send Swistak down into the abyss. But Swistak's not happening. A huge bouncing fish there. But Gary avoids it. But on the jump, Swistak actually finding the forward smash, the very last hit, the most important one. And Swistak taking us to a game 4. It was looking so... I would actually like someone just to watch this stream back and count how many games are Small Battlefield, because I'm fairly sure it's been all of them but one. We've had one instance of Pokemon Stadium 2, and that's about it. I am in this one. Okay, regardless, here we go. Game 4. Swistak versus DegenGary. Again, it's still a scary place for Swistak to be in. So he's still just being one game away from losing his place in Grand Finals, but very much on a different pace here, different gear entirely, after winning that last game. But these two keep it very, very even. They're kind of just slugging away at each other right now. Swistak doing a very, very good job of just avoiding all of the ledge trap attempts from DegenGary. And obviously, the thing that Swistak has been doing especially well in this matchup since like the first game is playing out and delaying his moves to expect the switch. Because obviously Gary recognized very, very early on that he can break those sequences from Sheik with the switch, but now Swistak is actually delaying them and then finding his hits afterwards, which is absolutely the way to play it. Okay, both triple digits for these players right now. One big hit will absolutely seal it. Obviously, Swistak on the hunt for throwing out those back airs. Very, very quick move that can kill. And Gary actually not, able to punish the forward smash attempt, and instead losing his stock to that up air close to the sky. But Gary's just returning fire and shooting down Swistak into the abyss below. And again, we are just keeping things once more very, very even. Neither of these players have allowed each other to even get a lead going at any point in the set entirely. They're very much just one kills the other, and then they just do it right back. Okay, good delay again from Gary. Expecting the roll in on the platform. But Swistak doing a very, very nice job here of just starting to really rack up this damage pretty quickly. Again, sort of there, not going for anything like the dancing fish, just delaying it and then going for that neutral air, which does lingers a long time. And this is a really, really difficult position for Gary. He seems to be struggling a little bit right now. Find his hits, going for a big forward smash now, an all or nothing attempt. Okay, right. Again, this is a huge moment here for Swistak. He wants to carry this, lead that he's been given as far as he can. Take us to a game 5. But Gary is very much on the hunt for things. Swistak has been previously on stream able to complete the reverse win. And here we are about to be seeing it again. If he can take us to a game 5. The momentum is all in this corner, but he wants to be starting to pile on this damage. Definitely starting to make it happen. Again, every single moment when he knows that he should not be pushing his advantage any further, he just stops, he runs out, and he waits. And Gary is just not able to do anything about that because he's just keeping that shield up. Of course, by the time he's put the shield down to try and punish it, Swistak is out of there. It's like we're playing turns in neutral here, but... Again, this is starting to look very, very scary right now. 47 on Gary. Still not able to find this stock on Swistak just yet. Finally, the up air does hit low. This is truly the huge moment there. Lovely wait again from Swistak to, just bait the tech on the platform and then punish accordingly. Now he's starting to get something going here. Going for the up air, but not going to be close enough to find his target, even with the huge recovery that it has. But he's really starting to pile on this damage very quickly. He's starting to look a little bit more tricky for, Swistak here. But the Charizard is out, and that is a big boy who very much could get caught in the Sheik blender. The switch is welcome now, and the up air as well, catching the switch into Squirtle. And of course, the lights character means you are unfortunately dying very early. And we are going to a game 5. Is the moment. This is make it or break it time. Which one of these players wants it more? That is what we are about to discover. Okay. Yeah, this is a huge start here for Swistak. Just keeping Gary stuck in that disadvantaged state and just keeping it going as well. The up tilt as well. Trying to confirm it to the back of it. He does, and he finds the bouncing fish. The lightning comes out, but it's not going to be enough. But a second one comes out all the same. And my God, we have just seen the cleanest out of them you have ever seen. Swistak looking mighty good in this game 5. And he's keeping that momentum going. As he now gets just a free opportunity to pile on as much damage as he wants. Meanwhile, Gary is very much got to just start from the bottom. He has got to start with at a 0 and find an entire stock just to keep himself going. Gary certainly someone that is able to do it. But this is truly a difficult position for Gary because, as we've said so many times, Sheik is a character that once you are stuck in that blender, it's going to be a lot of damage piled on that you're not going to be able to do all that much about. So if Swistak is able to just get something going here, then Gary is going to be the starter to really, lose this game and Swistak run away with it. Finally, up air does hit though, not able to take the stock, trying to catch that, jump in, but not going to be enough. The Fine Whip does come out, no lightning required, but your stock is gone regardless. But as we've said before, this was just to take the first stock. Meanwhile, you're still on the second one, so Gary's still got a lot to do to keep himself in it. The Swistak now, in a position where he can just search for the final kill. So he can play it a little bit safer if he wants to, and just find his marks if he wants. This is certainly what he is doing here. Neutral comes out with that lingering hitbox, going to be going in a pretty scary position. The Charizard is out because Gary recognizes he is at an extremely high percentage. So he wants to use the added weight that Charizard has just to live a little bit longer. Maybe pile on a bit of damage a bit more quickly. But the needles arrive all the same. They are inevitable, as a certain Thanos would say. Coming out, taking that stock away. Swistak looking very, very nice here in this game 5. Is he in a position where he is able to complete the reverse 3-0? Gary is able to take those first 2 games, but since then Swistak has just been on another one entirely, and he's just not slowing down in this game 5. We had a 0 to death in that first stock, and then a beautiful sequence in the second stock, and then the third one is starting to pile up just as nicely here for Swistak. This is a potential huge upset in the making. Gary's just not able to find any hits. It seems like Swistak is on something in entirely different gear. The needles come out, but not going to be in a position where he can confirm into the bouncing fish. 96 on Gary though, close to those triple digits. He needs to put on a lot of damage right now just to take that second stock away and then do so much more if he wants to even get the final one and win the entire set. But Swistak is not making it happen. The forward smash nearly connecting there. Swistak again just sitting happily on the ledge, just waiting to see what Gary does, and that is exactly what he commits to. The up smash comes out, trying to fire the back edge to find an early stock, but Swistak again just using the mobility she has to avoid entirely. The needles come out, no bouncing fish though. Swistak again just keeping calm, but the neutral air into the bouncing fish, and the reverse 3-0 is complete, and Swistak takes down DegenGary and finds himself in Grand Finals winner's side. Our resident EOE Invader has completed the upset.